President Trump right now is giving remarks from the White House, from the Oval Office. And as soon as we get those taped remarks, we will play them out for all of you to see. But in the meantime, Democrats are in panic mode, reportedly calling an emergency meeting yesterday of a dozen House Democrats. Now, this comes after that embarrassing display during President Trump's joint address to Congress, including the moment Al Green shouted and waved his cane that led to his censure.
That's your warning. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered on this Friday. I'm Kayleigh McEnany here with my co-host Emily Compagno. Also joining us, Molly Line, Fox News correspondent, Marie Harf, Fox News contributor and former State Department spokesperson under President Obama. And look who it is for the very first time on the couch, House Speaker Mike Johnson. So good to have you here, Speaker Johnson.
So good to be with you. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, so thanks for the opportunity, ladies.
We've been wanting to have you, and we are quite excited. You know, I woke up this morning, and I'm reading, and, you know, all the congressional publications, Politico, Punchbowl, Axios. Here's what they said happened last night. I was very intrigued by it. This is after the censure of Al Green. You have Politico Playbook citing Axios that says there was a very unhappy House Democratic leadership meeting. They had a come-to-Jesus meeting with a dozen House lawmakers. Punchbowl, elucidating on that, said that this included Maxwell Frost, Jasmine Crockett, two very outspoken Democrats, and they used the word that they were berated for their behavior. How ordinary is it for leadership to berate members of their own party? And were you surprised by this?
I wasn't surprised. It is extraordinary, but they did make fools of themselves on the House floor. And everyone saw it, everyone in the country. It was a reminder to them why we won so decisively in this last election cycle and why they lost. And they're really a party in total disarray, as you see it on vivid display right now. They don't have an identified leader. They don't have any vision for where they're going. They don't have a platform that they can run on because it was repudiated overwhelmingly in the election. So they're sort of flailing about, and it blew up on the House floor, and I think they deeply regret it. At least some of them do. Others apparently didn't get the message of the election.
No, Al Green among them. He becomes the fourth House Democrat to be censured in the last 4 years. And Hakeem Jeffries, your counterpart on the other side of the aisle, had this to say about the censure.
The censure resolution put forth by extreme MAGA Republicans is not worth the paper that it was written on.
He says it's not worth the paper, and House Freedom Caucus members are asking to put forward a resolution to remove Al Green from his committee assignments. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the interesting thing is he was censured for disrupting the proceedings of the House. And while I was reading the censure that was voted in, by the way, by 10 House Democrats who joined Republicans in that, they disrupted the proceedings of the House. So there's some irony there. We have to keep decorum. We have to keep control of the proceedings because we're the greatest deliberative body in the world, and we need to act like it. And I think this went way over the line. By the way, these censures, this is not a normal thing. I mean, he was only the 29th member of the House to be censured in the entire history of the U.S. Congress. So it was above the pale. He's the first person to ever be removed from the floor during a presidential address. It was appropriate, and we got to maintain control.
You know, Emily's going to hop in here, but just a quick follow-up. What about his committee assignments? Do you think that's on the table?
Well, I talked to Freedom Caucus members and other Republicans who are deeply concerned about this. They say we have to restore control one way or the other. They need to be real consequences, and it's something we'll be looking at early next week.
Okay. So, Mr. Speaker, it seems that there are some reasonable heads prevailing, right? We have Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow. She says, look, these Democrats are sick and tired of performative nonsense. We don't want to see our elected officials trying to be cute or clever, she says. So back to Tuesday night. Peggy Noonan, Democrat, esteemed WSJ opinion editor, wrote a thoughtful op-ed today where she said, look, I came to 3 conclusions after Tuesday. She said they're not serious people talking about her own party, these elected officials who refused to stand up, who refused to clap. 2, their job was to show they are an alternative to Mr. Trump, and instead they proved why he won. And then her third and most important, she said, they will continue to lose for a long time. And she talked about how to stand and cheer, to show support for these incredible Americans, that were there that evening was to show love. And instead, she said they brought the hate. So my question, to quote the Black Eyed Peas, which I got to see in concert 100 years ago, where is the love, Speaker? And do you think that Democrats will listen to these reasonable voices?
I think most of them won't. And you saw that by their vote. They voted against Century Now Green. They're doubling down, tripling down on their failed policies and their message. And it does not resonate with the people. Peggy Noonan used to be a